Okay.
All right. Yeah, so I'm thinking you do a lot of copy and paste for that. Is edible. What's that arrow say? No. Huh.
Saying it's missing a bool.
That makes sense. So is octopus edible? All right. Updated our data. Yes.
It's edible should only be applied to the C one, right?
I feel like all animals could be edible. You got a cow. So your animal struct will be flexible enough to do that, and then just the specific way it's being used is just for seed animals.
Would you be able to just make it an optional and decide and be able to put it in some and others, or would that not work?
You could do that. You could also make an extension called like edible, where you can make that have optional properties. All right. So, you want to get your cells down, right?
Yep.
Sounds good. Talk us through what's going on in line 31.
Line 31 is using the identifier animals to, I believe for all the cells, because we haven't set up the C animals yet, for the first prototype cell.
Gotcha. And then what's it doing inside of that optional binding?
On line 31.
Line 33.
On line 33, it's determining if they are land animals or sea animals and sectioning them off based on that.
Cool. So I think we can use most of this logic, but we just need to change up how some of it works. Anyone have any ideas? Sunny?
Have an if-let downcast being stated for each of the cases. So for the first one, I would teacher's name, whichever class was for the top prototype cell you had.
Do I need to put an else in for this then?
What's that?
Do I need to put an else in? I'm
Do you
taking,
need to tell me that?
yes, that was the question.
What was that switch on? What was the point of the switch case?
Was to determine the number of rows? No, it was to determine, yeah, which, where the information goes.
So you might still want the switch so you can determine which section you're in. And then for case 0, if you let the cell
Wait, so
be an
then,
animal
what am I,
tapeworm cell,
what happens with this then?
that's, I would put that as the first line in case 0. That whole thing.
All of this?
So the first section is land animals,
Okay.
and the cell we created before is already set up for land animals.
So I put that into case 0?
And then you need a closing brace after you get it.
Right there,
And then what's case 2 for?
See animals.
Now change animal table cell in your second case to match whatever name you made for the second class that you just made. Make a C animal table cell. And for each of them, you want to return cell.
For testing, you don't have those. So check what your outlets are on that cell. All those labels different names. Try building it. Cool, we got some errors. That's very helpful, thank you. If you go to the top left in file structure, this little triangular cone. It's going to tell you where the errors are. So that looks right. Let's look back a little more. Maybe there's a different place where there's a curly brace.
where you remove table that cell and have like your you have to find that curly brace.
for this?
No. It used to be on line 31, so it had a curly brace. So there's a curly brace on the bottom somewhere. So it's within that function. Yeah.
Does this come out then?
Yes. And we got an app. No. Drag does right away.
Delete it or?
Whatever. That's the same thing, yeah. Drag that away. Don't hit run again. So on the bottom near the output, see there's a blue tab. You hit the button next to it. That says keep going to the next step. Now it crashes. All right. Let's give me in a hand.
Cool. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
I like when you do all the work and then I just swoop in. Let's take a look at this crash. This class is not key value coding compliant for the key animal image view. Ian, what do you think? Agreed. What kind of error does this thing usually relate to, Adam? So we crashed and we got this explanation that we've seen a bunch of times before. Cool. So connected where or with what? Cool. Let's take a look at our storyboard. Animal image label. So it looks like there are two outlets. Let's check the table view cell. So it looks like there are two outlets from the image view in Interface Builder, but only one of them goes to the table view cell. So the one that doesn't, I'm going to get rid of. I think that's where the crash came from. Let's try it out now. Oh no, it crashed. Let's take a look why. This name is not key value compliant for the key name label. All right, let's go look for name label. Isn't Interface Builder wonderful? So it looks like there's also a name label. I think if you copied the cell, you got the outlets. Did you copy the cell and then just paste another one? Or when you added a new prototype cell, had it re-added those? Sorry, I wasn't in the room.
I just added second prototype cell.
Mm-hmm.
I just put it there.
Okay. I think when you added a new prototype cell, it tried to add another one exactly like the one before it. So it had those outlets. All like that. Hey. Hey. All right. Let's see. It looks like,
Why are the labels on the left?
yeah, why are the labels on the left? Let's take a look. It looks like they're right aligned. Bless you, bless you. Looks like our label is working. Let's take a look at our view controller. Set our text right. Does anyone know how we can change the text alignment programmatically? Not you. So when we set the text, it looks like it completely ignored what we set up for the label in Interface Builder. What we can do is programmatically set the text alignment, which is of type NS text alignment. I don't know what the values of NX text alignment are, so let's see. It's an enum. Nice. So I can say that the, dot right. Like you might have seen in the past, it can infer that you're talking about NS text alignment if you have an enum, because it's looking for something of type NS text alignment, so you can just use dot right. It becomes a whole lot more readable. Let's see if that does what we want it to do. Monkey, a panther. Nope, doesn't look like it. Is it because the image is too big? And it won't come over. Anyone have any thoughts? Let's go to a look at our storyboard again. Let's look at the constraints for our label. So it's constrained to the left side. We might want to do this a little differently. We might instead want to constrain it to the right side. So not the leading space to the super view. Because what it's going to try to do is it's going to try to add that text in as much as it can while staying constrained to the left side, because it doesn't have any constraint to the right side. So we didn't say how wide are you going to get. We just said from the left side, how far do you go? So I'm going to add a constraint for the trailing space to container. Then I'm going to get rid of the leading space to container. I'm going to change the constraint between I'm going to get rid of the constraint aligning the leading of the image and the label, so not their left sides, but instead I want the image and the label to be aligned by their trailing. So now label is constrained to the right side, and let's see what happens. Oh, cool. So because of how we had our constraints, because we were constrained, even though we stretched the label all the way out to the right side, because the constraint was to the leading space in the container rather than the trailing, it tried to add the text starting as far right as it could while staying constrained to the left. So we needed to flip our constraints and say, this label should be constrained to the right side and start adding from the right, moving left. Isn't auto layout awesome? It's very manual for auto. I agree. What are some questions you have? Phoenix. Yes, let's add another label saying whether or not we want to eat the animal. Talk me through it, Phoenix. I know, you can do it now. You got this. We want to add a label. How do we do that? Nice. So you're off to a great start. Where do we say we're going to put the label? Let's just add it below and on the right side. I'm going to change the size of my prototype cell, be 150. I'm going to just do that by hand. And what I'm going to make sure to do before I do anything else is also update in the view controller that its height should be, that we should switch on index path section for case 0, so the first section, return 125. For case 1, return 150. And default, return 0. I don't want any other cell that exists to have any height. I don't ever want to see it. And now, when this second cell, so the sea animal cell, when that's used, it's going to have a default height of 150. Cool. Let's keep going, Phoenix. I've got this label, but it has no constraints. I want it to be aligned on the right side with both the label at top and the UI image view here. Keep going, you're there. I want it to be aligned on its right side to the other stuff there. Cool. Nope. Not one. Okay. That's saying our views are misaligned. Oh no, look at all this crap. I'm just going to update the constraints. Oh no. Update the constraints. Feeling lazy. This might come back to bite me in the butt. Let's see what's happening. So we've got a label. I'm going to call it the eat it label. B. Hello, my friend B. So I want this label to say whether I'm going to eat the sea animal or not. How am I going to get it some information? Okay, so where would we do that kind of thing? Well, I don't want to ever touch any data in my view. So where could we do it? M, V, or C? Cool, let's go to M. So we'll go to animal. So we've got a struct called isEdible. In here?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to interpolate?
Well, we have, in shop, we have the type is on, so we should add another one for,
Okay, talk me through it.
so next to, C, and then interpolate it. So it's like, so when you return it, like, the title is on there or not, and then you put article in your book.
Like that. So that's going to return a string false or true. Phone a friend. Let's phone Hildy. So all we want to do is update this string interpolation to say whether or not the animal is edible. We can also do this a different way. Let's say I want to make a function called can I eat it? I'm just going to have it return a string. I'm going to say all in one line, we're going to use a ternary operator. So that's what we got. Levi, talk me through ternary operators. You really love them.
Conceptually, yeah.
Okay.
So after the return, I would set the true or false condition, or I would request the true or false condition. So I would say, can I? No, I would say is edible.
Is edible. Great.
And then after the question mark, I would set what to do if it is, and then on the other side, we know what to do if it's not.
Cool.
So if it is, the string will be
Albert.
backslash type.
Right. Yeah.
And then go outside. Is yum yum.
Is yum yum.
And then on the other side,
Yep.
same thing, interpolate the type is not yum yum.
All right. Cool. Sounds good to me. Google taught you that. Albert, can you walk me through the ternary here? So the highlighted thing, can you walk me through the logic there?
So it checks if variable is true or false. Then before the two dots, the first would be false. Sorry, switch. The first one would be true and second would be false.
Cool. So before the question mark is what you are asking. You're saying whatever this expression is. So it could be this bool, could also be 1 double equals 2. That would evaluate to false. Whatever it is, the result of the stuff before the question mark should result in a bool. If that bool is true, you do the stuff before the two dots. If that bool is false, you do the stuff after the two dots. All of this evaluates to a string. So after we do all this, we return the string that we get here. That string is either type is yum yum or type is not yum yum. So all of this is one expression. It is pretty clean. When your ternary starts to get super complicated, do not use a ternary. If it's not stuff that you can read in one line, do not use a ternary. I know it seems like a fun trick, but it should just be a shorthand for an if-else. So if it's like 1 double equals 1 to the double dot pi string int, don't use a ternary. Don't do that. There's too much stuff going on there. For right now, this is fine. Great. Who loves it? We all love it. We love it. Great. B, let's go back. We updated our model. Now I'm looking at my sea animals. I see that there is a label for it, but there's nowhere that that label is connected to the class for the table view cell.
So maybe we could drag it,
Okay. Drag it like how?
hit an option, and then drag it over to here.
Cool. What do you want to call it? Sea animal? Let's do something more descriptive. What info are we putting here? Cool. Edible animal. And I'm going to call it edible animal label. Cool. All right. We did all that. What's the last step? Crystal's asleep. Okay, Kevin. I've set up my model to tell me if the animal is edible. I've set up my view. Now what do I want to do? All right. We're almost there. Tell me what you're not sure about. Why not? Okay. So I will tell you, we created a new table view cell just for sea animals. Now we're adding to it a label. And that label's job is to say whether the animal is or isn't yum yum. We added the label, we added a function to our model to let us know whether it is or isn't. And then we added a label with an outlet to the table view cell. So we've got the model and we've got the view, and we need a way for them to interact. Cool. Let's call the function in the view controller. I'm going to say let's do that where we set up the row. So cell dot edible animal label. Cool. Nope, sorry. Cool. So C animals index path dot row dot can I eat it? Cool. Let's give it a try. Cool. All right. Lobster is yum yum. Octopus is yum yum. Great. And it's all right aligned, just like before, because our constraint is on the right side. So it's starting to grow from here outwards as we add each character. Adam. That's what I did. Sorry, yes, this is sea animals, which is one section, and then land animals are on the left side. Uh-huh.
Does it make a difference then when text online not right?
It won't here, just because it's only constrained to one side. Okay.
I thought it was just because like why didn't you separate like that's where I'm like the useful cell. Yeah, the fire like why didn't I have to separate? Like you made two prototypes cells.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you not have to say this data should have this format, this data for this prototype cell? You know what I'm trying to say?
We do. So the first section for us is just land animals. The second section is sea animals. I said, basically we used the existing animal cell for land animals, and we didn't say anything about whether you eat them. So we just dequeued that identifier. In the second section, we dequeued the identifier for the new one we created. So in each section, we dequeued a different cell. What's the question?
Since you're returning inside the switch,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The view did load. It's going to look awful familiar. So you tell me. We put it right here in a function that we get from the let's not look there. But it's a delegate function that we get. So out of the box, I have to reset the delegate for a table view. All right, I'm going to do some committing and then push it out. Did a lot of changes. Git add. Add animals. See animal. Git commit. Create app. Git add -p. Animals. Base. Whoa. This is annoying to look at, but a table view cell got added to my storyboard. Then there's a closing table view cell. Has anyone seen anything like this ever before? Where, yeah, it looks a little HTML-y. So in this markdown language, there's an opening and a closing, whatever you call it. I don't know, who cares? But if you are confused by what you're looking at, if you go all the way to the outermost green, so most added stuff, you see there's a table view that's being started here. Then if I look through it, there's some stuff. And then see that that table view cell is now being edited. Is that what I'm looking for? I think so. So there was the closing of the table view cell before it, opening of the table view cell. You are going to have to get used to looking through this when you're using Storyboard. So I would encourage you to look for the keywords. Table view cell, cool. In that table view cell, its subviews are a label. Then we close that label tag. Then an image view, we close that image view tab. That label, close that label tag, and then we close these subviews. Then there are constraints in my table view cell. And then all that stuff goes, and we close our constraints. Then in the content view, there are connections. Those are outlets. We close our connections. Then we close the table view cell. I'm adding all of that. I check my git status. Got my changes in my main.storyboard and the see animal table view cell. Great. So I'm going to git commit adds table view cell for see animals. Going to git add -p. Oh, there's a new file in our project. Maybe I should add that to the previous commit. Great. Now, what I'm adding is adds is edible to animal model, git status, git add -p. Great. Great. Quick commit updates controller to create see animal cell. Cool. My branch is ahead of origin master by 3 commits. Does anyone know what that means? Anthony, you got any idea? Great. My branch has 3 commits on it that are not yet on origin master. So not yet at the remote origin on the branch master. So So I'm going to git push. Cool. That's our product.